the year 2000, in 11 hospitals across America, 123 people sat down to the same breakfast. Scrambled eggs, 2 slices of bread, a glass of water. The eggs were radioactive. Not dangerously, just enough that a machine could watch them. For the next 4 hours, that machine watched their food refuse to leave. 60 minutes in, the scan showed something nobody had thought to check. The stomachs were still 2/3 full. Not emptying, not nearly done. 2/3 of breakfast, exactly where it had been put. And here is the part that should bother you. Ask those people right then if they were hungry, and plenty of them would have said yes. Full stomach, empty signal. 3 things are doing that to you. Not one of them is your stomach. This is one entry on a long list of things your body does without asking you first. We are working through all of them. Start with the obvious suspect. You picture your stomach like a sink draining, and hunger arriving when it hits empty. In 1989, 2 researchers in England decided to actually test that. They took 10 men, fed them, and then measured 3 things at once: how fast the stomach emptied, what the blood sugar did, and how hungry the men said they were. Nobody had lined all 3 up before, and the 3 did not agree. Some of the men were getting hungry, while more than 40% of the meal was still sitting in them. Then the stomach finished emptying, and the hunger kept climbing anyway. 20 years later, a bigger team ran it again with better machines. 134 people this time. Emptying speed and hunger did line up. Barely. It explained under 6% of the difference between one person and the next, which makes your stomach about as useful a hunger gauge as your fuel light is at telling the time. An empty stomach permits hunger. It does not cause it. So if the tank is not the trigger, what is? In 2021, a team in London and Boston did something nobody had the tools for before. They put continuous glucose monitors on more than 1,000 people and fed them 8,600 standardized meals. Then they went looking for the thing that predicted when appetite came back. Everybody expected the sugar spike. The spike is the famous part. The spike predicted almost nothing. It was what came afterwards. 2 to 3 hours after eating, blood sugar in a lot of people does not just settle back down. It goes under, below where it started. And the people who dipped hardest were not slightly hungrier. They were measurably, behaviorally hungrier. 9% more hunger. Next meal, 24 minutes sooner. 75 more calories that afternoon. 312 more across the day. Same meals, same calories going in, a different body reading them. Now, one honest thing, because you will hear this everywhere said with total confidence. Everyone says the dip is insulin overshooting. That study did not measure insulin after meals at all. The fasting numbers it did have pointed the other way. The dip is real, and it is measured. What causes it is not settled. Anyone telling you otherwise is usually selling a supplement. Which brings us to the second one, and this one, you taught it yourself. In 2001, a researcher in Seattle wanted to see a hormone move in real time. So he took 10 people and drew their blood 38 times in a single day. He was chasing ghrelin, the hormone that rises when your body starts getting ready to eat. And it behaved. It nearly doubled before every meal, then crashed to the floor within an hour of the first bite. Reasonable so far. Here's the part that is not. A later study split people by habit. One group always ate lunch about 3 hours after breakfast. The other always waited about 6. Both groups' ghrelin peaked at completely different times of day. Each one peaked just before its own usual lunch. Not a biological interval, not hours since food, yours. Quick one, and only because you are still here, which already beats most people's attention span. If your own body doing things behind your back fascinates you as much as it unsettles you, that is the whole channel. Why your body does that. Hit subscribe, and the next one is already loaded. Wednesday. Why your body turns hunger into anger. Right, back to it. Your hunger hormone is running on a timetable you taught it, one lunch at a time. And then it hands the result back to you, filed under willpower. The researchers are careful here, so I will be too. In that study, Hunger arrived slightly ahead of the hormone, not behind it. Ghrelin might be the messenger rather than the cause. What is not in doubt is the timing, and the timing is learned. Which is also why the first 3 days of a new eating schedule are miserable, and the fourth one is not. Nothing healed. You just retrained the alarm. Which leaves the strangest one of the three, a hunger that has nothing to do with needing food. You have finished dinner. You are full. Genuinely, physically full. Then someone says dessert, and you are not full anymore. In 1984, Barbara Rolls sat people down to a 4-course lunch and let them eat until they stopped. Half of them got a different food each course. Half got the same food 4 times. The variety group ate 60% more, almost all of it in courses 3 and 4, after the other group had quit. Then she took it apart to find out what variety actually meant. 3 yogurts that differed only in flavor, same color, same texture, produced no extra eating at all. Changed the color and the texture as well, and people ate about a fifth more. Fullness is not one signal. It is filed by sensory profile. Fill up on savory, and your savory appetite closes down. Your sweet appetite never got the message. As far as your body is concerned, it is a separate account. The dessert stomach is not a myth. It is also not a stomach. So if none of those 3 is fullness, what actually is? Within 15 minutes of eating, a hormone called CCK rises about 6-fold and starts telling your brain that food has arrived. Fat and protein set it off hard. Glucose barely moves it. The sweetest, fastest part of your meal is the part that rings the bell most quietly. In 1995, Suzanne Holt fed people equal calorie servings of 38 different foods and measured how full each one made them. The spread was 7-fold. Boiled potatoes scored 323. A croissant scored 47. Protein tracked with fullness. Fiber tracked with fullness. Water tracked with fullness, hardest of all. And one thing tracked hard against it: palatability. The better it tasted, the less it filled anyone up. Your body offers no reward whatsoever for good taste. Frankly, it is a bit rude about it. One more, and it is the cheapest thing in this entire video. 58 people were given a whole apple, applesauce, or apple juice. Same fruit, same 125 calories, same weight. The whole apple cut how much they ate at the next meal by 15%. The juice did nothing. And when the researchers blended the fiber back into the juice, it still did nothing. Chewing is a signal. You cannot drink it. So, back to those 123 people, lying under a machine with 2/3 of breakfast still inside them. They were hungry, and their stomachs were full, because their stomachs were never the ones making the decision. A dip you cannot feel, a clock you taught it, a sweet tooth filed under a separate account. 3 systems, none of which consult you, all of which are working exactly as designed. So tell me, what time does your hunger come back? Before noon or after 3? One word in the comments. You are not weak-willed. You are extremely well instrumented. You just do not get read access. Next Wednesday, why your body turns hunger into anger.